Welcome to Ayer, your first smart medical device. Today, learn how to use it and capture amazing photos of the retina and anterior segment, winning your patients over and increasing the value of your consultations. First step, create your iCloud account. Simply access the link from a computer and create your user ID. Some information you need are the password to access Ayer Cloud and the 4-number PIN to access Ayer. You will receive an email to confirm and register the clinic. Then, simply log in to Ayer with the user you created, or use the QR code function to access and synchronize the clinic with the device. At the first login, make sure your Ayer is connected to the internet. And on a daily basis, remember to keep the equipment charging all the time. You only need to turn it off in the evening and on weekends. Now, let's create the patient profile in the application, fill in the data, and start the exam. A cool tip about Ayer: you don't need to dilate most of the patients. Okay, now take off the lens protective cover and put on the eye cap to do the examination. This protector creates a dark space, dilating the patient's pupil naturally. The cap is optional for either a dilated pupil or the patient in a dark room. The time has come for the long-awaited photo. Hold the device this way, leaving the thumb free to click on the capture button. The front hand supports the device and makes fine positioning, while the back one remains fixed, centralizing Ayer to the axis of the patient's eye. Ask the patient to cover the other eye with a cupped hand. This will keep both eyes in the dark. Besides, it makes it easier to focus on Ayer's internal targets. Bring Ayer closer to the patient's eye, centralizing the red reflex until the entire retina reflex is homogeneous. What you see is the patient's retina illuminated with infrared, which provides greater comfort. If necessary, ask the patient to close the eyes for a few seconds, or keep Ayer with the eye cap, waiting for the natural dilation of the pupil. Once positioned this way, just click on the capture, and wow, you have the first photo of the retina. As Ayer has good focal depth, even if you take the photo in 0 diopter, most of the images will have a great quality for diagnosis. You can also adjust the diopter manually to improve focus. You can still use the equipment autofocus. In this case, position as if you were going to capture, but click on the screen in the region you wish to focus. At this time, a white flash appears, and the patient's diopter is automatically compensated. Ask the patient to keep his eyes open during the compensation so that the system calculates correctly. After that, the system will have compensated the patient's diopter, allowing capture. It is also possible to adjust the illumination power. Ayer has 5 levels, and the photo in 3 is the default. If you want to see more details of the optic nerve, lower the power to 2 or 1. For clearer photos, increase the power. You can also easily change the region being imaged. Simply access the Targets function, changing the internal illumination target that will be turned on. The 2 largest circles represent the photos of the noblest regions of the eye, macula and optic nerve. The more images from different regions you capture, the wider the area seen from the fundus eye. Now let's capture the image of the left eye. And finally, let's capture the photo of the eye surface. To do this, click the Retina button, change to Anterior, and position the device a little further away from the patient's eye with the iris inside the circle on the screen. Click in the area you want to focus, then on the Capture button. The photo will be displayed, allowing documentation of diseases such as cataracts, pterygium, nevus, and other periocular alterations. Tip: capture photos of the anterior segment only after finishing the retina of both eyes. This will allow a better natural dilation of the patient's pupil in the fundus photos. You can view all the images by clicking on the gallery. You can also carry out the examination with the aid of a slit lamp. For this, drag the entire optical assembly to the side and snap our adapter to the tonometer pin. Place IR, tighten the screw to lock it, and now you're ready to capture. You don't need to use the eye cap in this case. Ask the patient to cover the eye that will not be examined. Bring IR closer until the retina reflex is well homogeneous and make the capture. Whenever you need, you can edit the captured images. To do this, tap the Edit icon. And don't worry, a new image is generated, preserving the original. The first option is Crop. Choose between the rectangular or elliptical shape, drag its edges to the region to crop, and confirm. Next option is Measures, which can also be rectangular or elliptical. Drag the frames and position in the region to measure it. This tool is quite useful to track lesions, size, and glaucoma. The next option is Rotation. An angled ruler will be displayed. Slide it to the right or left to rotate the image. The last option is to change the image brightness and gamma. Another super cool function of IR is the composition of panoramas and generating images with a high field of view. Just click and hold to select the images. Choose the option Panoramic and create. Another nice function is the stereo, which allows viewing three-dimensional images, allowing a better visualization, for example, of the optic nerve excavation. In this case, select the colored images of centered macula and nerve. Then, just click on the stereo option, and the system will create a really cool composition. And you can also enhance the image with the texture function, which highlights changes in the eye fundus and vessels. You can generate a report with the diagnosis for the patient directly through IR and share it with the patient. Know what's better? When IR is connected to the internet, you can access all information directly from the cloud with IR Cloud. With it, you can show your images to the patients in real time, getting an even closer connection to them, showing all your care with the exam. It's quite simple. As soon as you log in, the patients will be organized in the order their eyes were captured. Click on the patient's examination, open his images, and show your patient the details of his or her fundus eye. You can also create reports through IR Cloud. Go to the diagnosis screen and click Add. You can choose the images, their size according to the columns of the page, and even enter a report template to help creating a diagnosis description. It's very fast. Yes, IRDoc, now you are an expert on the best fundus camera of the market, IR, and its integrated IR Cloud system. Use it a lot with your patients and enjoy the ease of its functions. And contact us if you have any doubts. We are here to make your experience amazing.